Hi, I'm Scott with Starkey Family, Fixing Rigging Up. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And make sure you turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified when I release more videos, and then you can actually click on them and watch them. So, you might be wondering what I'm doing with a push mower on the tailgate of my pickup truck. Well, for those of you that watch my channel, and for those of you that are new to my channel, I'm a very, very busy person. I have my normal job, and you see a lot of videos on that with, me driving a semi-truck, then I have to work on it and things like that, and then I do some other mechanical work. Well then, on top of that, I've got 2 YouTube channels that I try to take care of, and then having a family and try to take care of them also. Things add up. So here's what the deal is. I'm kind of in a bind right now, so this is why I've got the push mower on my tailgate. My one lawnmower decided to blow manifold gaskets. Okay, so I actually ordered the manifold gaskets and I'm waiting for those to come in. So I actually got my spare riding mower out and it would not run. So in a pinch, I thought, well, that's fine because I've got quite a bit of land to mow. I'm just going to get the push mower out and just do around my house. Okay. So this push mower, I have not used it in, I guarantee you, at least 2.5, maybe 3 years, maybe even longer. I don't know. This is a 2007 model, Bilt. It's 6.5 horsepower, 190 cc, and it's self-propelled. This right here is the electric starter, so it's got a key switch up here, and right here's the battery, which is dead. But anyways, I got a pull rope on for backup, so that's no big deal. But this is an electric start, self-propelled lawnmower. It's actually a really nice lawnmower, and I paid a lot of money for this when I bought it back in either 2007 or 2008. Well, it has never failed me, but I think I just let it set for way too long. So here's what the plan is. I had already put gas in it, tried starting it. I could not get it to run. So I took the carburetor off, cleaned it, put it back on, still nothing. Took the carburetor off again, cleaned it again, put it back on, nothing. I checked the spark plug, make sure there was spark going through. There was. I don't know. So the only thing I'm left with is, well, I take that back. I can actually put gasoline into the chamber. I took spark plug out and put gasoline directly into the chamber. It would fire up, but it would shut right off immediately after that. So the only thing left on here that I can tell you is that carburetor. When you let carburetors sit for way too long, they corrode up inside. They have nastiness in there, which this was really nasty. It was really nasty. I'm thinking that, even though I cleaned it out, I think corrosion or something is actually screwing it up. But it comes a point in time where everyone is like, should I buy a new push mower or riding mower or anything, okay? Or should I try to fix it? Well, I got the part number off the carburetor and I looked it up, and I saw that the carburetor was actually pretty cheap for this mower, for a new one, so not remanufactured. So I went ahead and ordered one, and it actually came in quicker than my riding mower carburetor. So I'm still, my riding mower manifold gaskets for my riding mower. Sorry. So tonight we're actually going to try to get this lawnmower running. That way I can at least mow around my house. If we cannot get this running, it's going in the dumpster because I don't have time for it. So let's see what we can do, and let's get started. Okay, so the tools that you're going to need for the job, you're going to need a pair of pliers. That's basically just to get the fuel line off. You're going to need a pair of locking pliers. These right here suit me perfect. They're just about as wide as what the fuel line is. So basically you're going to lock it and then the fuel won't empty out. Now if you drain your fuel tank, then you won't need these. Okay, the next tool is just a medium size screwdriver. Nothing major, just a straight. Now you can use a ratchet if you want. I suggest using a nut driver, okay? Basically this is just a screwdriver and you put a socket on the end. I'm just going to be using a 1/4 inch. Okay, the next thing is I'm going to use a 5/16 socket. And let me see here, what was this? This one here is a 3/8 socket. So basically that's all you should really need to do this job. Now if your lawnmower varies a little bit, then you may need something else. But for just changing this carburetor, this is all you should need. Okay, so here's the carburetor, still in the package, so I haven't even looked at it yet. Now the way that I ordered this, it was supposed to come with some extra goodies. So let's see what all comes with this kit. I paid $20 for this whole entire kit, okay? So you can't go out to the store and buy this for $20. Okay, new air filter. It also comes with a little foam protector that you can actually take it and air blow out, which is actually really nice. Okay, hey, I wasn't thinking that we get a new fuel line, but we got a new fuel line. We got a shutoff valve if we want to install a shutoff valve for the fuel. Got a fuel filter. Ooh, new primer button. Oh, this is for the fuel line. That's just going to go up here on the top or on the end. Wow, we actually got a few of those, didn't we? They were thinking ahead, so that way we can splice in the shutoff and fuel filter if we decide to. Got a new spark plug. Have no idea what brand it is because, well, I can't read that. Okay, so we got new gasket kit with an O-ring. That's great. And let's check out the carburetor. Nice and shiny. Looks just like what I've got. Hopefully it works. I guess we're going to find out here in a few minutes, right? Okay, let's get this rolling. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the air filter cover off. Yes, look at my nasty filter. It definitely needs replaced, right? Okay, so now we're going to use the 5/16. Got 3 bolts right here. Okay, we got the filter cover off. Now this also has the primer button installed inside of it. Okay, so now this is where we are going to take the fuel line and clamp it. Now we're going to take our pliers on the fuel line clamp inside. We're just going to simply move that over. Now I think that grasshopper flew in the video there a minute. I think it wanted part of this. Okay, now we're going to take our 3/8. There are 2 bolts right back here. This is actually holding the carburetor on. Now remember, this is just a push mower, so all these bolts, they should not be extremely tight. So you want them in there tight, but it shouldn't be anything major to take them out. Okay, this is crucial. You've got a spring right here, then you have your linkage. This right here, all you do is just take your carburetor and you turn it and it comes right off. See that little hole? That's where the linkage actually goes into, but you have to put it in an angle and then go up. Very, very simple. Now, on the back of this carburetor, there's an O-ring that sits right in here, okay? If you take the carburetor off and it's not sitting there, then it's right back here. There's actually a tube that sticks into the back of the carburetor just a little bit, and here's the O-ring right here. So do not forget about that, because you don't need to double O-ring this. Okay, so this plate back here, you may not be able to get everything off, but just take a rag. I'm just going to use regular alcohol. Just wipe that down. Don't worry about if everything don't really come off. Basically what we're doing is, it's going to be stained most likely, but we just want to make sure that we have a good seal to it. Now if you have any type of gasket material or anything like that on there, yeah, go ahead and scrape that off. But this is basically all you really need to do. Make sure you clean that tube off really good, because you gotta remember there's gonna be an O-ring on there. Now, you do not need to use any type of silicone on this. This engine is built to be very generic and very cheaply built. I don't care what brand name that is out there, these are cheap devices. So it doesn't take that much to get them going. But they have to work. A paper gasket is just fine. Okay, so now it's time to open up the little bag of parts, which is going to be one paper gasket, which is like cardboard, and then a little O-ring. Okay, so I do recommend taking just a little bit of oil, and it really doesn't matter what kind it is, and taking this O-ring and just lubricating it. That way when you go to put it on, you're not taking a chance of tearing this up, and it will actually fall in place a lot better. Okay, so we're just going to take this O-ring back here on this tube and install it on the tube. Nothing major. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the linkage on the carburetor. Everything's new, so it doesn't go on there very good. Just take your time. I put just a little dab of oil up there, make things a little bit simpler. Okay, just put one bolt in at a time, just enough to hold it in place. Put the next one in. So basically what you want to do here is you want to tighten up both sides, and they want to be even. You want to make sure that they're even. That way it doesn't come loose, but it's not over tightened either. Okay, so for right now, I'm not going to be real concerned about changing out the fuel line. I just want to see if this mower is actually going to work first, because there's no reason to go through the trouble if it doesn't run right. Give it just a little bit spin, make sure it's seated. Okay, when I release this, if it's seated, then it's not going to leak. Okay, we're good. Okay, so this cover just goes right here. I did take it in and I cleaned it up a little bit. But before we put this on, we really need to change out the primer button. Okay, this button's been there for, well, since it was new. So let's go ahead and get it. All there is just some clips right here on the side. Take your screwdriver, run it in a little bit. See how I've got a little gap there? All you do is just push it on up. Do the same thing here on this side. Try not to stab yourself. Okay. See that? Right here it is. And it's just that simple. That thing is like really nasty. So let me go ahead and clean that out real quick. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You got a little screen in there. Can you see that little bit of dirt inside there? Let's try and clean this thing out. Just taking alcohol. Just take some Q-tips. Clean this chamber out. See all that garbage that just came out of there? This is one of them deals where once you clean it out, it's going to make a seal in there, so you don't have to worry about doing this all the time. Look at all that. But you do want to make the initial seal. So I'm going to put a little bit more alcohol in there just to make sure all the good stuff's out of there. This is like a little air passage. Anyways, now that we have it cleaned, now I gotta dry it off. Okay, so you just take your rag, wipe the inside out, but you really, look at all that nastiness. See that? You don't have to be real concerned. It's just alcohol. But keep in mind, rubbing alcohol is flammable. So wipe it off, let it dry a little bit. Okay, the next thing is this little primer button. We're not putting this back in there to make a seal dry. So once again, just put a little bit of oil on my finger. All we need to do, just run oil around the plastic ring and on the inside here. That's it. Okay, so now this is important. So when you're actually putting your primer back in here, you see these little holes? That's for these little clips. Make sure you line that up, and then you can simply just push them in there with your fingers. Most of the time you can. This one's a little bit tight, isn't it? Come on. Just don't use a screwdriver. Okay, we've got one side in, and there's the other. Okay. Simple. Okay, so we're ready to install the gasket on here. Now, I know you can't really make it out very well, but there is plastic tabs all the way around on this. All you're going to do is, you're going to take your gasket, like a little stud that comes out there, one here. Make sure they're pressed all the way through. And what that does is, that locks your gasket in place. So, you can take this and install it straight on there. Make sure you get your hose connected down here in the bottom. There we go, because we have a little hose down there. Okay. So we're going to take our socket. This is a 5/16 by the way. And we're just going to screw that on there. Okay. It's not tight. That's what we want, because we do need some wiggle room. Yeah, I'm going to drop that, aren't I? No, I ain't. There we go. So let's go ahead and put another one in. And the one up here. Okay, so you're going to want to tighten up the carburetor side first. Remember not to over tighten this, otherwise you will break this plastic. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to install the filter. So that just goes down in those grooves. First, we're going to put the paper filter in. And you see this right here? This is just going to go across this little ring right here. So there's actually an indentation on this side here, so it just kind of sets down into the filter. And then we just screw it on. Okay, so we're done on this part. So now here comes the trivial part. Is this thing going to start? So let me go ahead and get this set down onto the floor and we'll be right back. Okay, so let's see if this thing's going to run or not. Make sure I still got fuel in there. Prime it up. Okay, so I did let the mower go ahead and run for about 3 to 4 minutes. It seemed to run fine. The engine started leveling up. So since it is running and I am going to be able to use this, and we're not going to be throwing it into a dumpster tonight, then what I've decided to do is, here's some Briggs & Stratton oil that I'm actually going to use. So this is just normal 30 weight. We're going to go ahead and change the oil on this, okay? Now, I wanted to tell you why I'm doing it like this and why I'm not using the drain plug on the bottom of the mower. Well, there's a plastic guard underneath of it that you have to take off. Then you have to take the mower blade off. What it is, where this is self-propelled, the belt actually drives to the shaft, or comes back to the shaft where the cutting blade is, okay? A long story short, it's just a major nuisance. We don't need to take the cutting blade off. We don't need to take the cover off. This kind of engine, we can simply flip the mower and have it drain out of the drain hole on the top. It's just as simple. There's no reason to do that. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so basically all we're going to do is just taking the dipstick out of the top, as you can see. I'm just going to lay it down. Make sure you have your drain plug or your drain pan off to the side. And it's just that simple. So we'll just let that drain there for a couple minutes. Okay, so it's actually quit. So let's go ahead and flip the mower back over. Okay, so since I have no idea how much oil this lawnmower actually takes, we're going to see real quick. In this jug is 48 ounces. So what we're going to do is we're going to take my measuring cup that I use for my 2-cycle dirt bike. It's got ounces on there. Let's go ahead and put 10 ounces in it first. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if it takes all this. Let's go ahead and put about half of this in there. A little bit more. I don't want to overdo it. Okay, so we've got about 5 to 6 ounces in there right now. And it's not even reading on the dipstick. So what we're going to do is, see this top line here, this little dot? That's your full mark. The low dot is your low mark. Anything from there down can and will damage your engine. So let's go ahead and add some more to it. Let's go ahead and put this 10 ounces in there. Okay, let's see where we're at right now. Let me test it, or check it one more time in here. Okay, it is reading to the dipstick now. Let me bring this forward here, if you can see that. But as you see, it's at the low mark now. So let's go ahead and add some more oil. Okay, there's 4 ounces. Okay, so there's about 5.5 ounces in here now. So we've got 10 ounces gone. Okay, so we are at, let's see here, about 3 ounces, what we're down to. It's a little bit higher, but it's still not at the full mark. So let's go ahead and add some more. We're going to go just put the remainder in here. So now we're at 15 ounces. We're just barely under that full mark here. Can you see that? Just barely under it. So we're not going to put much more in there. So I'm going to put 2 ounces in here. We end up just a little bit above that mark, that's fine, but we don't want to go too far. Okay, we are full. Can you see that? We're just a tad above that second dot, so we are perfect. So this lawnmower here, it took what, about 17 ounces to fill it up of regular motor oil. You have to keep in mind that I did let this run for a few minutes, so the engine is hot, so the engine oil is going to go down. Okay, now I'm not saying that there wasn't any old oil left in here, but everything that should be in there should have pretty well drained down. So I'm gonna say about 17 to 18 ounces is what this engine actually takes. Okay, so let's go ahead and change the spark plug. What was in here from, this is actually the factory plug, is a Champion. So it actually still looks pretty good, but since we got a new plug in the kit, whatever brand this is, if you've heard of it before, if it's a good plug, let me know in the comments. If it's a bad plug, let me know in the comments. Only thing I know is it came with the package, so let's try it. Okay, so there's no name brand on the spark plug. It just says 4106. Isn't that awesome? So let's do a comparison on here. Definitely a little bit longer. This one here's got a little bit wider of an electrode on it. I don't know. Let's see if it works. I'm not going to throw the Champion away though, just in case. Now when installing a spark plug, just get it hand tight. It doesn't have to be torqued down. Up. The end of it's loose. Let me tighten that down a little bit. These ends actually do unscrew. Okay. Okay, so we got a new spark plug in it. Okay, so the next problem that this mower's actually got is, and this happened a long time ago, this right here is the safety kill switch, okay? Basically, you let this go and it kills the engine. Well, the cable actually broke. So, this is actually my fix right here. I took a zip tie, and all I do is, I just take this front here, pop it off, and pop it back on. Is it safe? Not really. Did I get a cable for it several years ago? But guess what? I was too busy to actually put it on. So right now is a good time to put it on. So here's the part number. It's an MPD number. And all it is just a replacement cable. So let's go ahead and start removing this old one. Okay, I'm going to try my best to show you how to do this cable. It's not really that it's difficult, but it is kind of tricky. Okay, that's what the top is, just a swivel. Okay, there's two little points in here that you gotta squeeze. Try to get it out there. Then this just simply pulls straight down. It pops out, as you see. Okay, so basically you just knock off a bunch of zip ties that are zip tying this cable to the handle. So basically you're just going to take your needle nose pliers, twist it. You see this tab here. That right there just gets crushed in. And it pulls out. That's freeing this up. Push up on the bottom, and then the cable just simply twists out. Okay, so we may have a problem. All them years ago, I bought this new cable, and it's been in the package, and I didn't realize. Do you see this end right here? Well, it's not like that end. And it's not like that end. And the length of the cable is actually different. So we may not be able to use this cable. But just because the cable is longer doesn't mean it can't be used. Okay? So I am going to try it. If not, then I guess I'm going to have to buy another cable. Okay, so let's go ahead and try under here and see if this is going to fit up in here. Okay, that's stuck in there, but it should stay. Okay, looks like that's going to stay. So let's see here. Let's route this cable up. Okay, it looks like I'm going to be able to piece this in together here. So this right here is the same. So let me go ahead and try and get the bottom actually worked in first, and then we'll come back up here and attach this. Okay, so this cable is like a mile too long. So what I did was I wrapped it around this handle. I know it looks stupid, but you know what, if it works, I really don't even care. That's just the way I am. Pretty easy going. So let's see if we can get this all hooked on here. Okay, so we're back up here at the top. And now it's a little bit rougher to get in there. There we go. Hey, guess what? I think we're going to do it. So the goal is we're trying to operate this mechanism to get rid of my strip tie rig up. So let me show you what happens when I pull the handle. So that is operating. Is it operating enough though? I do not know. We may have to put some spacers in here. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so let's see if it starts back up. Works perfect. I'm happy. Are you happy? I'm happy. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys again which model we actually have here. This is actually the Bilt 21-inch self-propelled mower. It's got the rear discharge for the mulching bag. It's a 650 series, 190 cc, 6.5 horsepower. And this is actually has been a nice mower through the years. And if I can come across the battery pack, then I'll have my electric start back. Because the battery pack, well, it's been shot for years. So, as a recap today, we put a new carburetor on, put a new air filter on, new spark plug, changed the oil, we put a emergency shutoff cable on it. So, I think we're good to go. The drive belt already works up front, so we're not going to mess with that. The blade underneath, it's actually really sharp still, so we don't need a new blade. So I think we're good here. I'm Scott with Starkey Family, Fixing Rigging Up. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I hope if you have a push mower at your house, and that's why you're watching this video, and you're trying to figure out how to get to actually run so you can use it, do as I done. The first thing that you want to do is check your spark plug for, spark right off the bat, because you could have a fouled spark plug or a cracked one. Okay, that's the simplest fix. But if you can spray gasoline or carburetor cleaner or something that's flammable straight into the carburetor, or you take the spark plug out and you spray it up into the cylinder, if it fires right up, then you know that your push mower is not dead yet. There's still a lot of life yet. So either you have a spark plug out, you have a carburetor that's actually bad, or you have a choke that some of these models on here, you have these little choke sensor type things that go bad. And that can be your whole problem too. Most likely not, but it does happen. For this total kit, I spent about $23. That's with tax. I will leave a listing down in my description So if you guys want to actually purchase the same kit that I did, it comes with a carburetor, air filter, the foam filter, spark plug, fuel filter, a shutoff valve, and a fuel line. You know, you really can't beat that. And it comes with the hardware. I mean, you've got not just the carburetor, you've got the gasket, you have everything that you really need to do a carburetor tune-up, you actually have. And as you saw, there's nothing difficult about this. It takes longer to do a video, but you can take this carburetor off and put the new one on in about 15 minutes flat. So it's not really a bad job at all. Now, I did get on Walmart.com, and I thought, you know, if I need to replace this, how much would I actually have to spend? A basic push mower on there that's gas powered, just a basic one, was over $200. Just to give you an example. Do you want to spend over $200, or do you want to spend just a hair over $20? Now, if I didn't want to get the air filter and the spark plug and all that stuff, I found the same carburetor on there by itself with the gasket kit for $14. So that's what the savings difference is. But just to give you an idea, if I was going to buy the gasket alone, I priced one of them through the manufacturer. That was $10 just for that little cardboard gasket. So by the time you add everything up, you're getting a hell of a deal. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video, but make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this. Turn on your notifications and watch my other videos, and don't forget to catch my other YouTube channel, Starkey Family Gaming and Fun. If you like video games and entertainment like that, there you go. You all have a good night and take care. See you in the next video.